Good Sunday morning, friends and neighbors, and welcome to Real Estate Radio with Kelly Warren and Associates. Friends, this is where the Valley's favorite real estate agent comes to tell you everything you need to know about buying or selling your home. Now, here are your hosts this morning, Kelly Warren.
Good morning and welcome to Real Estate Radio with Kelly Warren and Associates. I'm Kelly Warren and I'm in the studio this morning as always with my co-host, Handsome Jim.
You just say good morning, and I always wonder, what if some people listen to this in the evening? It'll be weird.
I say good morning every week. It airs in the morning, Jim.
But maybe not.
They watch the Facebook video of it in
feel
the
like you
evening.
should just
I don't think they're offended by good morning.
I feel like you should just
Dan starts it off with good Sunday morning, folks. I always feel like so revved up by his energy in that introduction.
I'm going to start saying hi to everybody in the evening.
Okay,
Good
go
to see
ahead.
you. Thanks for visiting. Wherever
Jim,
you're
my
watching
pain
this
in the
at.
butt one.
Handsome Jim. Don't
Anyhow,
get it wrong.
so last week we were talking about our questions from Ask Kelly at kellysoldit.com. So
Yes.
continuation of that, if anybody has questions, you can send them over to us, askkelly at kellysoldit.com. As always, you can find us online at kellysoldit.com, or if you have real estate related questions, you can always give us a call or a text at 330-717-2689. Those words just slurred in my mouth.
Did you just forget the phone
No,
number?
I was like 0. So
You look so
we
funny.
were telling people last week that we went to Baltimore with David and we were talking about the game, and this week we have David in the studio with us.
Yeah.
Hi, Dave.
Hello, everybody.
So David is one of our agents. So I'm going to tell them how we met because, so how long have you been in your house?
Oof.
Like
It sounds
8
like
years?
I think 8 or 9 years.
Okay. So 8 or 9 years ago, Sunday afternoon, I'm at the office. I actually had my little kids at the office because they were little back then. I was on my way to a birthday party, get a phone call like, we want to see this house right now. I said, yeah, I can come show it to you, but I got kids in the car, whatever.
Yeah. I even told my wife, I don't think anyone's going to show up on a Sunday. My wife said, no, call anyways.
It was destined to be because look at us.
Mm-hmm.
So I met them, I showed them this house. I apparently fell deeply in love with them because after not just being clients, but then friends, Amy does my hair, David became one of our investors. Now he's a real estate agent with us. Now we're going to Baltimore and watching football games.
It probably all started with Maddie being my right-hand man as
Yes.
a home inspector.
Yes.
And we went through the house, I think.
That kid's cute.
See that? It's our whole
He
relationship.
sealed the deal.
Yeah.
I was worried back then when the kids were little about, oh no, what if I bring my kid, I'll turn somebody off, but
We have a picture of Matt helping me change out electrical outlets in our old house.
yeah.
Yeah, he did the same thing with me. He was
Yeah.
like, what are you doing, Dad? And I'm like, with a drill and electricity, trying to light myself up,
Yeah.
So you shouldn't use a drill when you're replacing electrical outlets. That hurts.
He was a curious kid.
Yeah, he was cool.
So today we want to talk about real estate investing. Jim and I did a segment on this several weeks ago, months ago now, yes.
Yeah.
And we said that this was going to be real estate investing 101 because we were going to keep talking about
We never did
investing.
102.
Today, 102.
A whole year later.
We'll just do it whenever we want. 102. We're in order here.
If you have questions about investing, call us anytime. We can answer them.
Now you're supposed to give the phone number.
Oh, 330-717-2689. That is the number that I call mine.
It's like you're new here.
I'm sorry.
So after you bought your house 8 years ago from us, how long after that did you buy your first rental?
That would have been about 4 years.
Okay.
Yeah, because it was, I think, 4 years this past October.
Okay, so you've been investing in real estate for 4 years. So how many houses have you acquired in that time?
We're up to 9 properties.
Nice.
Yeah, that's
Nice.
good.
So you just kind of always had a feel for that because even when I met you then, you were talking about wanting to get into investing in real estate.
Yeah, I was actually looking at stuff probably 2 years prior, constantly on Zillow,
Mm-hmm.
looking and just running the numbers. It's all numbers when it comes to investing in properties.
Yeah. So why do you feel that it's numbers based?
Because, there's 2 ways to look at investing. Some people look at the appreciation side. They buy a property, they think over the course of time the house is going to go up in value, and then they'll sell it and they'll make money that way.
Mm-hmm.
And the other side is the cash flow side of the property, and that is after your expenses, what you're left over with after rents. And if you can get both of those, then you're doing great. And in
Right.
the valley, especially in the valley, this market is really good for both because homes are going up in value, rents are raising every year, and the cash flow numbers look great. Plus, the money's still cheap to borrow money.
Right, interest rates are low enough that you can be doing that and taking out mortgages and using somebody else's money to invest. So you
Yes.
don't have to have the full amount of the cash sitting around to buy a property, and you're still cash flowing even after paying the mortgage on it.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, so it's fun stuff. I know Jim likes to listen to the bigger broadcast. You listen to that too, right?
Bigger pockets.
Yep.
Yeah, bigger pockets, that's what it is.
Yep.
So you are constantly running the numbers too about
Yep.
what makes sense. So
Yeah.
what is it that you guys are running? What numbers are people looking at? If our listeners are sitting at home thinking, I want to buy real estate, I want to invest in it, what are we talking about if the numbers make sense?
Well, you take a basic, say a $75,000 turnkey property. That's going to be your basic 3-bedroom, 1-bath that you're going to get an average rent in the area of around $900 a month. You take away taxes and insurance, you're looking at cash flowing around $725 a month. Now, if you pay cash for that property, that's going to get you a return of around 11.6%. Now, anybody tells you they're going to give you an 11.6% return on money, you're going to jump at that. Now, if you use leverage,
I haven't been able to find someone else to be able to tell me that in anything.
No.
So what do you mean? Like if I put my money in the bank, I'm going to see like,
your bank's going to give you pennies.
and what if I put my money in a 401k or something?
It might adjust slightly, but not like this.
So I'm going to see like 3% return there where I could see 10, 11% here in real estate.
Correct.
And the
Okay.
biggest thing with that is you're going to see cash in your pocket every month with
Yep.
rentals.
Okay.
Or when you're investing in 401k or you're putting money into the bank and it's slowly growing at a snail's pace, you're not seeing that monthly cash flow. And that's what everyone considers the crown jewel of rental properties is that cash flow, because that's money that is going in your pocket every month.
Okay.
It's like a paycheck. It's like you're earning a paycheck.
Yes.
So it's really cool. And there's I don't know how to say it, but it's when you do it, at least for me, I don't know if it's the same, it probably is the same for Dave. So it took you 2 years to get your first one. But once you got that first one, it seemed like it was easier for you to get the next handful.
Yes.
Like you were more confident and comfortable.
I did 100% of the sweat equity rehab on my first one. So,
Okay.
I mean, working evenings at that property, it took me like 4 to 5 months.
Yeah.
That was, working 2-3 hours a night.
Right.
Now that was a long time, and some of that was kind of over analyzing stuff, and
Sure.
now I go in and it's quick. Plus, as you walk through the properties, you've sold me everything. Jim sold me, I think, 2 of them. We've walked through some properties that have been like nightmares.
Right.
Yeah.
But my wife and I, we're looking at them as it's just dollar signs because 1, no one else wants these properties because of the headache of it.
Right.
And 2, we look at the market, we look at the neighborhood, we look at the houses around it. Of course, we look at what the average rents are for that area. And the key, in my opinion, is you make your house the nicest rental in the area. You're going to have people beating down the door for it, and you're going to be able to charge the high end of the rents for the area.
Premium dollar, right?
Yep.
Because
So-
there's a cost to that high end stuff.
Right. I'm going to come back to that. So my question first is for our listeners, if they're sitting at home thinking, I want to invest in real estate, what are they looking for? Like you said, some of the houses that you go into as people are seeing a headache or problems, you're seeing dollar signs. So is there something that people should want to buy or should be afraid to not buy? Like what's a problem for them?
Everything's fixable.
Yep.
You have to have that mindset that everything is fixable.
That's my favorite answer.
It literally is. Like you said, when you walk in there, you don't see dollar signs that I'm going to make money. You see dollar signs, okay, this is going to cost this much to fix. Then where does that put how much I have total investment in this property? Am I still below what the average neighborhood homes are going for? Then it's still worth it. If it gets to a point where it's like, okay, this is a $50,000 neighborhood, I'm buying the house for 20 and I have to put another 50 into it. Now it's like, okay, that's not a good investment.
So sometimes people might say like, oh, it's a great house, I'd be interested in it, but there's a hole in the roof, it's leaking water. This isn't a problem for you.
No, that's not a problem at all. I mean, if anything, that
I feel
gives
like
you.
that's one of the easy ones.
Yeah, because that gives you a reason to put a whole new roof on it. Now
Right.
you're not going to be touching a roof for 20 years.
Right,
Yeah.
so you're protecting your asset, because
Yeah.
now you know that you've got a new roof and that kind of thing. And as long as you're buying it at the right price, that's what I always feel like, you know, if it's, so say it's that $50,000 house and you're getting it for 25 and you're gonna put a $7,000 roof on it, you're still profitable.
Yeah.
And it depends on your strategy too. I'm buying and holding forever,
Mhm.
right? Some people might only buy and hold for 5 years. So if you're going to do the long term, which is what I advise, at some point you're going to have to put a roof on that house.
Mhm.
At some point you're going to have to replace the HVAC. You're going to have to
Right.
replace the hot water tank.
Right.
So if you go into a house and you do all that stuff right in the beginning, then you know you've got 20 years of maintenance-free house.
Yeah.
So in a lot of ways, what I do now is I kind of buy the ugliest house because I'm going to get it the cheapest out of pocket right off the bat. I'm going to go in, I'm going to get everything replaced, and then I'm going to have a carefree house for the next 20 years.
Yeah.
So that's a strategy that you do that I really like, as you've talked about that. So he's saying he's going to pick the worst house because he's fine putting on the new roof, putting in the new furnace, doing the kitchen, that kind of stuff. So when you explained that to me before, like instead of buying a $60,000 house that things are a few years old or slightly outdated or whatever, and it's just the normal house in the area, if you can buy it for $30,000 and redo the kitchen and redo the bathroom and put on the new roof and put in the new furnace, now you've still got that $60,000 back into it, but you know that everything's done and updated and ready to go, and you've got a higher rate of rent back on it.
Right, because it stinks having to replace an HVAC when you have a tenant there,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Oh,
And
I never thought of it that way.
yeah, I learned that the hard way. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I had a boiler go out in one of my properties, and you know, my HVAC guy was great when he got in there and got it fixed quickly. And it was during the winter, so we were lucky that it wasn't an extremely cold spell. But still, you don't want to, you don't want to bother the tenant like that, and you never know when a good time to replace it is.
Right.
So if you just see in the beginning when you're buying the property that this HVAC's 20 years old, yank it,
Yeah.
take it out.
Cool.
I like it. I like listening to you talk about this kind of stuff. You always inspire me.
Well, so like I was saying earlier, once you get that first one and you start to see, okay, I'm making profit, I'm making money, I'm clearing out my debt on this property, and I'm still bringing home a couple $100 a month. Now I want another one. And then you start doing the math. You're like, hold on, if I could bring home a couple $100 a month, well, what if I have 10 of them? Now I could bring home $2,000 a month. Now wait, what if I have 20 of them? I could
It
bring
becomes a game. It's like real life Monopoly.
Yeah,
You
that's
you
it.
feel like
That's
you're like playing like take over the world. Like.
right, and that's what it is. Like, at what point do you feel like I have enough income coming in off my properties that I technically don't have to go to my job every day? So if you can build up to a point where your income from your rental properties is enough to pay your bills, that's fun.
Yeah.
Like that's cool.
Yeah. So
'Cause
you've
I'm
got
still
that
going to
passive
work, but now I'm still making this extra money. Now what do I do? Now I can do all kinds of fun stuff. And the way that we do a couple of them, we get mortgages on them. All I'm looking at on those mortgages is, oh look, in 15 years, I'm going to get a raise.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I can retire in 15 years and have 10 times the amount of money that I have now. Like,
Or you
keep going.
refi it,
Yeah.
take the money and buy another one.
Right.
So you just keep playing that game with it.
Right, like that's the thing that's crazy to me is there's so many different options, and the growth in your wealth and in your income like just blows up.
So let's talk taxes. So this is passive income, so it's a little bit of a higher tax rate.
Yeah.
You said your goal is to buy and hold forever.
Correct.
What about that 28 years? Have you talked to your accountant about that? We can only depreciate for 28
Right.
years. Like I
You-
feel like I'm
you-
gonna buy and hold for 28 years and I'm gonna sell it and buy
like,
something else.
Like you do tap out at that point, and when you look at my age, and I'm 44, in 28 years, it really becomes real monopoly. You take your portfolio of rental properties and you sell them in one group of rental properties, and you 1031 that into something larger that you're 100% hands off. So when I'm in my 60s and 70s, I have something that is completely passive.
Right.
And take that capital gains tax down a little
Yeah.
further down the line. But, when you're depreciating that 28 years, it's still, though, you can still keep resetting that parameter. I showed Jim a thing a couple weeks back where you take 10 properties and they're all paid off free and clear, and you can take a mortgage out on property 1 year, property 2 next year, so on and so on. So you have 10 year notes on the 10 properties. That by the 10th year, that first property is getting paid off. I'll say these properties worth $100,000. You're taking out a 50%, loan on them. So you're pretty much protected no matter what happens in the market shifting down. And that money is essentially tax-free. And you're not paying for it. You're not paying the loan. It's your tenants that are paying
Right.
for the loan.
Yep.
So the tax strategies get even crazier when you have free and clear properties, because you can access money from them and do whatever you want to do with them. When you're in your 60s and 70s, you may not be wanting to buy properties anymore. You may want to be helping your kids or your grandkids get started in the same type of access. I mean, I started buying these properties to change the trajectory of my family's lifestyle.
Right.
Yep.
I want to hear more about that. We're going to take a quick break, and I also want you to, when we come back, talk about, you mentioned 1031. So we'll hop on that and our home picks of the week when we get back. You're listening to Kelly Warren and Associates with Real Estate Radio, and we'll be back right after this break. Welcome back to Real Estate Radio with Kelly Warren and Associates, where we are talking about investing in real estate right here in the Valley, which is one of my very favorite topics to talk about. David Thomas, one of our real estate agents, who prior to becoming a real estate agent was an investor, is, and still will be continuing to be an investor while being a real estate agent, is in the studio with us. David, what's your phone number?
410-227. Cancel that. 330-423-5759. I'm just thinking of my Baltimore number.
Yeah, like, jeez. David is available for call or text if you are looking at any real estate property. He's available to show you any property as one of our agents, or if you're thinking about buying or selling in general. But also, he's a wealth of knowledge if you are thinking about getting into investing in real estate. He'd love to help you out with that. We are going to do our home picks of the week, so I'll go first, and then you can get a feel of what we're saying here, and then David's got one for us too. So I'm going to talk about 148 South Edgehill that we have in Austintown, Ohio. This property was recently reduced to $60,000. It is a 3-bedroom.
Why'd you look at
You
me?
made a quick move at me. I was like, what's going on?
I was rocking in my chair. Simmer down.
1,400 square foot. Handsome Jim's putting on the moves right here. We got a 1-car garage, motivated sellers. This is at Wickliffe area of Austintown. Let me tell you, for $60,000, roof and siding have been replaced, furnace and AC are newer, hot water tank is newer, newer flooring, bathroom, all kinds of stuff in here, like really updated. David, this is one of your listings. Anything else you want to throw in on this?
No,
That's a nice one.
Yeah, that's really it. It's it's great area of Austintown. It's close to everything.
It's
nice.
$60,000, you can't beat it. So 330-717-2689 is the office phone number. You can give us a call or a text. David or any of our agents would be happy to show it to you. And what property do you want to tell us about?
I have a property here in Poland, 7066 Oak Drive. This is a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath home in Poland. It has been rehabbed, but it kept a lot of the old character of the house, so it wasn't a complete gut job. Still kept a lot of the molding, still kept a lot of the classic look of this home. It's got a beautiful kitchen in it, black quartz countertops.
I love the look of that with the black and the white. Yeah, she's very good taste.
Yes, yeah.
Well, so what he's saying, like the original woodwork and stuff like that, I love that kind of stuff. So this sounds beautiful.
Yeah, it has, beautiful entryway, has awesome formal living room in the front of the home. It has a nice family room off of the kitchen with a fireplace, which is really nice. What makes the home extremely nice too is the fact that it's an end of group, but it's on a rounded corner, so the house really kind of sticks out prominently.
Yeah,
to the rest of the
beautiful neighborhood, quality built. What's the asking price on that one?
That is listed at $299,900.
Under $300,000 and for one.
Poland. Yep.
Yep. So you can find both of these homes listed online at kellysoldit.com.
kellysoldit.com.
As well as every other house on the market. You can find them all right there on kellysoldit.com, and we'd be happy to give you a tour of any of these properties. So we're in the studio with David and Jim, and we are talking about investing in real estate. And so one of the things that I don't know that we hit on hard enough is, people from all over the country want to invest in real estate right here in the Mahoning Valley. Like, this is honestly like the place to do it. The affordability is great. The rental rates are great. Like, we don't have properties sitting vacant. Why are you looking at me like
Julie
that?
was so funny the other day because she had a client call her and was like, "Hey, I'm in town. Let's go see this house." And she's like, "Why didn't you tell me you were coming in town?" He came in from California, Sacramento, came in, was like, "Hey, I want to go see that house and I want to see a couple more." She's like, "You should have told me you were coming. Let's go."
Yeah.
So it was funny. It was, she was like, "We could have planned all kinds of stuff for you."
Yeah, like
So
people do want to come here from California and everywhere else to invest in real estate right here in the Mahoning Valley, and we have it in our backyards and we take for granted. So, okay, so we were talking about your journey through this, and you mentioned that you're gonna hold for a long time and then 1031 exchange. So what's that mean for the folks listening?
Okay, a 1031 exchange it's in the IRS code that you can sell rental properties and then reinvest that money into a more expensive rental property.
Right.
So basically, you kick the capital gains tax down the line from the profits of the sale of that original property that you turn over into another more expensive. The way to do it with single family, which is what we're all investing in here in this room, is you sell them as a portfolio, so it is looked at as one sale.
Right.
So you can have a group of 4, 5, 6, maybe 10 homes and use that as the 1031 exchange. You can 1031 exchange it into apartment buildings, home parks, anything of greater value than the original rental portfolio that you're selling.
So you put these on the market as a package. Another investor comes in and says, "Yeah, I'll buy your 10 houses." Title company holds on to the cash for you for a little bit because you're not going to pay the taxes on that. You go and then look and find these apartment buildings that are 20 units apiece, and I'm going to now own this apartment complex, and you go and buy it and use your proceeds from your other sale to fund that.
Correct.
Right? And then the tax liability is the benefit of this, because the 1031 is actually a tax code in the IRS.
Yes.
And that is saying that we're going to defer your taxes till later on because you rolled over the money essentially.
I would like to point out everybody should consult with an accountant.
Correct.
Sure, we're
Or
not
an attorney.
CPAs.
No.
Right. this is our blue collar version of this here. We know what we're doing.
Or even just go to the IRS website and type in
Certainly.
1031 into their search bar, and you'll
Right.
see everything right there. Now, not everyone's like me and enjoys reading IRS tax code.
My pastime.
I can't believe how many people tell me, "Man, I was up all night
Right.
reading that 1031 tax code from the IRS." David does.
Right.
David does. David calls and says that, "Dude, guess what I read last night in the middle of the night on the IRS website?" Too fun. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, but you can just go straight to the IRS website, and you can get some basic knowledge of it right there. Because sometimes if you don't have a CPA that you trust or that you have a good relationship with, sometimes it seems a little hard to believe that you can push those taxes further down the line. That's the big thing that scares everyone is taxes.
Wow.
And just like anything that can be fixed, taxes are there. It's a good thing to have taxes because that means, one, that you're making money.
Right.
Right. Well, and the funny thing is, so every human being is different. So even your accountants and your attorneys and stuff are all different, and they all have their ways on how they like and are comfortable doing things. And anytime you bring someone out of their comfort zone, so let's say your accountant's not really comfortable with it, so anytime you bring someone out of their comfort zone, they start to get scared and nervous, and they don't want to put you or themselves in a bad situation where somebody's getting in trouble or gets stuck with a giant tax bill or something like that.
You know what, that's a good tip. As you're doing these kind of things, as you get into investing, as you start to have multiple properties, as you start to build wealth and a portfolio of things in your world, you need to start bringing some people onto your team. So your favorite real estate agents, of course, to help you find the properties and sell them and make money and that kind of stuff, but also a good accountant, a good attorney, people that are on your team that are going to help you with your processes of doing these things, a good financial planner. And really my suggestion to you, just like I would say for a real estate agent, to interview somebody and pick one that you like, do the same thing with your accountants and your attorneys and your financial planners, because you want somebody to be on your team that's going to be like-minded to you, that's going to get where you're going. You don't want somebody who hasn't dealt with this sort of thing before, you know?
Yeah, and you have to tell them up front what you're really looking to do.
Right.
Because not everyone does this, and not all CPAs and attorneys even have the knowledge about
Right.
it. So if you get a good CPA and attorney and they're not knowledgeable of it, they should be able to refer you over to someone that is. But it's important to let them know what you're trying to do.
Right.
So I remember one of our couple first appointments with our accountant, and Cal's like, listen, I think we could do this, and I think we could do that. And he's like, hold on. He's like, what are you doing?
Sometimes I need somebody to reel me back in,
Cal,
so
like,
it's okay.
Cal's like, no, I'm pretty sure we could do that. And he's like, let me look into it. Like, our accountant has a whole staff of people and a whole bunch of accountants in the building, so
I need somebody a little bit conservative in a department like
to
that,
keep you in
because
check.
I'm like, hey, let's try this. And they're like, you know what? No, the government wants a little bit more money than that. So, I'll find the loopholes and they'll like check me in, like, yeah, let's do it this way instead. So it's good. You need that nice balance.
You do need that balance.
And
That's
you
funny.
need that balance and that partnership with a real estate agent on your team. So if you're thinking about investing in real estate, now is the time. Why wait? What's that saying about planting a tree? If you'd have done it 20 years ago, you'd have a giant tree right now.
Right.
But if you do it today, this is the second best time to start. Start now. So if you've been thinking 2020 is right around the corner, get your goals in line, and let's help you buy an investment property. So you can give us a call at 330-717-2689 or visit us online at kellysolda.com. Ask for David. He's a wealth of knowledge in this department. He'll get your questions answered and get you started on real estate. Anything else we want to leave them with? We've got like 30 seconds.
No, that's it. Just, my phone number again is 330-423-5759.
There's the correct phone number. So, thanks for listening, folks. It's been great talking to you about investing in real estate. We'll talk to you again next week.